Why is the connection so bad? I'm so irritated, y'all. Why did it didn't save? Why does it, when I go to my YouTube channel, it says that an hour and 22 minutes, but then when I click on the video, it's only 5 minutes showing. And I'm not even sure if this video is picking up. Like, I really hope I'm not gonna go on this trial and then it's not gonna record. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh my gosh. Oh, let me go to my YouTube. Let me go to my YouTube studio. Did 5 minutes of that video, like, was it really that only 5 minutes of that stream was saved? I really hope not. I really hope all of it. It says that YouTube was processing the video, but I don't know. It should have already shown how much of it was left. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, it seems like this stream is still going. Ugh, this makes me really upset. Okay, it seems like this stream is still going though. Okay, anyway, let's continue from where I left off. So, to anyone that, I don't know how it's gonna be, but if someone watches the death announcement in chapter 2 and they come and watch this video and they want to know what happened to the rest of the investigation, I'm sorry if YouTube, if it didn't connect and all of that was just deleted. I'm so sorry that happened. It seems like that might have happened. I don't even feel like streaming again. I don't even feel like streaming no more. That just made me so upset. Okay, anyway, let's just continue. Let me stop whining. Okay, no more whining. Okay. A ladder placed in the library. Kizuki usually. So yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to open that, is because I was trying to see whose fingerprints was on that ladder, but I can't even see because apparently it didn't record. That's so annoying. Like, what the heck? Anyway, that's fine. I don't remember. It was 3 people. I can't remember who it is right now. Shitan's experiment. So yeah, I think the tissue was used to wipe some stuff. So Justin, Tadira, and Chitanda are all safe. They were at the warehouse at 12 minutes. The warehouse and the store, is that the same thing? Warehouse. So warehouse and store, they're 2 different things. Okay, never mind. So I think Shikanda and Justin Tadira are all safe. I don't think Jumonji did anything. He didn't do anything. Let's see. Tsubaki and Kuzu, I don't know, something strange about that. I don't understand. I don't understand that. Ukyo. Kana. I don't think she did anything either. Let me check my stream again to make sure it's not messed up. Okay, it's not. That's just it's so annoying. I'm so upset. I'm so irritated. Okay. Kana. She stayed in the warehouse until the hour. I don't know. I feel like oh yeah, she don't know. He's safe. He's safe as well. So suspects we have right now, I feel Ukyo, Kuzu, Kan. I don't know. I feel like she's too late though. She's too late. I think she's too late. She's been in the diner. She was in the diner for the hour, right? So I don't know. I feel like Kanda's safe right now. So Kuzu, Engo, Mikawa. What was Mikawa at? Mikawa was at the diner at 49 minutes. I feel like someone had to come in after Mikawa. So Tomoe, Tsubaki, Tomoe Tsubaki, Tomoe Tsubaki, Engo. Perhaps I don't know. I don't think Ego really makes sense. I don't know. Ukyo is just it's just not making sense. Ukyo, Kuzu, Tsumaki. Mango possibly, but I don't think she did it. She doesn't seem like the type. She just doesn't seem like the type. Also him as well, Tomoe. Is there any other? Is there any other evidence? Let me see what these people were moving. Visited the store. Talking to Shitanda. He was already at the diner at 49 minutes. I don't know. He's safe. I think I already said that. Those books fell. I don't know why those books fell. I don't know if they threw them down on there or they fell because it was knocked. Was it because Mikawa? Okay, here's what I think. Is it because Mikawa went and put that ladder back on the shelf? He might have knocked some books over. But no, she was like inside of the bookshelf. She was like she was in the middle. She wasn't right at the place, so that don't make no sense. Never mind. I don't know who did it. I was gonna know who did it. Whose else's fingers were on that? I wish I knew. I can't go back and look at the auto record, you know, that's so annoying. Okay, so I was trying to see if I can look back at the old footage. No, I can't. For some reason, it did not record everything. The connection was just not connecting, so I just unlisted that last stream, so I'm sorry all y'all who missed all that investigation time. I unlisted that because it didn't record basically the entire stream. So there'll be a big jump. I don't know who did it. I don't know who did it. I don't know who did it. The doors leading to the pool from the men's and women's long before the door from the stock. This is important, but I don't know why it's important though. Maybe it's because someone could cross between the locker rooms. Like a man could go into the women's locker room or a woman could go into the man's locker room. But I don't know why that's so important that you need to go do that. Was it something in the women's locker room that I was confused about? I'm confused. I'm sorry, I don't know who did it. I don't know who did it. I need some help. I'm just gonna take a guess. I really hope it's not Tomoe, but Tomoe is... No, he was in the diner, right? What was he? No, he went to his private room. Tomoe seems suspicious. Tsumaki suspicious. Kuzu suspicious. I don't think it's Kuzu though. Well, she went back to the... She went back to... Was there anyone in the men's locker room? I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't know. Okay, let me just take a guess. Put a guess in. I don't know. The 3 minutes. The 3 minutes. Tsubaki. I don't know. Tsubaki is also suspicious, so. Why did she go to the diner and then go right back to her private room? That's just weird to me. I'm taking so long on this for no reason. The stream is pulled right now again, which is frightening me. Fallen books. And I don't understand why that's the case. Okay, let me not belabor the point. Let me just see who I'm gonna select. Ukyo. Ukyo. I'd rather it be Ukyo than Tomoe, in my opinion. Oh, because I just like Tomoe. But he wasn't down for a long time. I don't know, but it's gonna be crazy. Let's just do Ukyo. I'll just do that. Oh, I think I could have just opened up my save file after I got out of the truth bullets. I didn't need to do all that. Danganronpa. I have no idea.
The young master has definitely been on edge in this chapter. Perhaps he couldn't control his emotions and got his hands dirty with murder? Well, your choice has been received. We'll see if your deductions are correct. Or not. The answer will be revealed in the upcoming class trial. Stay tuned.
Okay, I could have viewed this. Okay. I could have viewed my e-handbook before. Oh, I forgot about this motive. Oh well. Let's just start the class trial. Yes.
Now then, let's start with a brief explanation of the class trial. The outcome of the class trial will be determined by your votes. If you point out the black end, only the black end will be punished. But if you point out the wrong one, everyone will be punished. And only the black end, who deceived everyone else, will graduate with flying colors.
Okay, so before we begin, now that the trial has officially begun, I would like to ask a question about something that's been on my mind for a while now. Yeah? Mr. Shitanda, what exactly was that experiment you just conducted? Why don't you just come clean and tell us? Huh? I already told you that. Don't you remember? He's right, he did. Koreda. He said it was to reveal that the floor was wiped with something dry. Of course, that was the case. However, the experimental details of Mr. Shitanda did not end there. It's about the saliva. I never heard about the story about the spitting, trying to wipe it clean, and it just ended there.
Now that I think about it, just as we were about to listen, Mr. Shirano and Miss Jumonji came in, so I don't think we heard this explanation fully.
I think I know. Remember the question that Shitanda asked back then? At that time, Shitanda asked us how long it had been since the investigation started. Sarashina replied that it had been about 2 hours. There's no doubt about that, but what's the point of the question? As soon as the investigation began, he spilled liquids on the carpet, so the liquid on the carpet didn't dry for 2 hours and remained there, right? It is a carpet with excellent absorbency.
It feels so cozy. I think I'll be able to sleep well.
Those carpets, you see them often. Sometimes you accidentally spill water on them, and they never seem to dry, which is a real pain. Anyway, thinking about why you did that experiment, I think I figured it out. The answer that Misaki found, when I think about it, seems quite simple. If I concentrate my thoughts, I think I might be able to deduce it. For now, logic. Should I have? Was that dumb? Hold on. Should I have gone to look at to see who had a whole hour to plan this? But it still didn't dry for 2 hours though, so it's still on the 4 to 6. Well, wait, the body was discovered from 4 to 6, but they were talking about to the hour, so is that to 5? So it was only 5 o'clock that we had alibis for. Okay, anyway, let me just continue. Logic Dive is a minigame where you jump into your mind and helps you organize your tangled thoughts. Logic Dive is a running game where you navigate through a course with the ultimate goal of reaching the end of the course. Falling off course or hitting an obstacle during this process will result in a penalty, so players must be careful. Watch out for obstacles, blue soaps, and yellow platforms. You can jump over obstacles and empty spaces. If you step on blue platforms, you'll automatically jump. Step on a yellow platform will ultimately accelerate your speed, which cannot be controlled, so be careful. During the process, when you reach a certain point, a question branch appears. You must choose one of the two paths based on the answer to the question. If you choose the correct path, you can proceed to the next course. If you choose the wrong path, you will fail directly and restart the course. By clearing all 3 courses, you can clear the logic dive. You can jump with the spacebar and move with the left and right keys. Additionally, if you equip Hiyori Tsubaki's best driver skill, you adjust the speed using the up and down keys, which I don't have. Now then, let's begin the logic dive. This is new, right? Oh my god. Why don't you just let me fall off? First question. It was 6, right? I'm literally on the platform. Oh my god. Wait, how do I jump? Oh, space. Okay. There really isn't any consequence of being hit, to be honest. Full. That's why these alibis don't make sense to me. I don't know, maybe I missed something, but the alibi should be in 2 hour span. So why were we just talking about the events within 1 hour of time? I don't understand that. Intermission already? That's crazy. Could it be that the time from the estimated time of death to when we discovered the body and started the investigation is also 2 hours is related? Yeah, if it's what we're thinking. What does that have to do with anything? Is it that thin? So that's just proof that it had to be dry, right? Not the fact that it's been 2 hours long. More than 2 hours long, I mean. If the killer had wiped the floor with something wet, there would have been wet marks on the carpet when we found the body. Ah, so that's what it means. The dampness on the floor won't dry for at least 2 hours. So there's no way to remove the wet traces either. So if you wipe the floor with something wet, the traces wouldn't have disappeared by the time we got there. So the culprit didn't wipe the floor with something wet, right? Didn't you already mention that? Don't leave out even the slightest possibility. In deductive reasoning, where you eliminate the possibilities, overlooking one is a disaster, you know? You can't afford to forget even such minor verifications. That sounds kind of messy. Deduction is, in essence, a collection of trivial scraps scattered everywhere. The detective is someone who picks up those grubby scraps. It's a rather unpleasant job. Still, to get such results after waiting for 2 hours, I guess it's still ambiguous. No, not at all ambiguous. This is a very important element that reveals what's on the floor. Was it fingerprints? Certainly not. I did thoroughly investigate whether there was any remaining fingerprints at the request of Miss Ego. That's just a guess. If you carefully consider the clues from the story so far, clear answer emerges what it really was. So then you think it could be wiped off good enough without leaving anything wet? That's what we're getting at just a moment ago. Also wouldn't be liquid. If it were, even a non-absorbent material would leave a wet mark no matter how much you wiped it. Then it must be something that doesn't stain the carpet easily, right? And more importantly, the culprit must have spent a lot of time meticulously wiping it down, so it would have been highly incriminating evidence if they hadn't. That last condition seals the deal. You can figure it out. You can figure this out easily. Yeah, I think I get it. That is fingerprint. Okay. I thought that's what we already kind of assumed, that they were wiping off the fingerprints. A fingerprint. I can't think of any other conclusion. I guess so. It was just the culprit's bad luck that we had all learned how to identify fingerprints. So it was fingerprints after all. Was such a complicated proof necessary? I already told you, if you miss even little details, this mystery will go off track. This is the process to make sure everything is crystal clear. There's nothing particularly strange about the conclusion of a fingerprint. However, I'm not sure if this helps with the investigation. Isn't it natural for the culprit to quickly wipe away the fingerprints if they accidentally left them at the scene? No, that might not be it. Sarashina, did you notice something? Seems Sarashina has caught onto something. Let's follow what he has to say closely. From now on, the non-stop debate will begin. Would you like to hear an explanation? Let's just hear it just to be safe. Okay. Okay, shift to swap. Use S to skip, use A to review your true bullet list. Z enter, okay. Dun 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 dun. Marks on the floor. Okay, there's only one thing we can do it on. What did you find out? Just focus on the white marks at the scene. The fact that there were white marks means that they left fingerprints? The culprit touched the floor? Correct. That's the only way I can think of. Or what's wrong with the culprit touching the floor? There's no reason for them to touch the floor. It would have been best to leave no evidence at the scene. So there was no reason to touch the floor. Maybe they stumbled and touched the floor. Ah, I think I know. After the murder, to try to relax. Girl. They did push-ups at the scene. Okay, anyway. There's no way that happened. What could possibly leave traces left on the floor that was so wide to cover up? What could possibly leave traces left on it? Okay. Just focus on the white marks of the scene. The fact that there were fingerprints. You can touch the floor. Oops. God. What's wrong with the culprit touching the floor? Wait, why is it not hitting? Did I miss it? Hold on.
それは違うよ。
Okay, I was just okay, anyway. Intermission. What happens if you eat hamburger? Oh, I can save each time. Oh, okay. That's nice. No. Judging by the marks left at the scene, it seems a bit odd to think. Oh, why? Try to recall that memory well. The cleaning traces on the carpet were definitely about 1 by 1 meter, quite large. Even if they stumbled and accidentally fell, they would probably only touch 1 or 2 spots at best. But would they really try to clean up every square meter so thoroughly? That's true. I do agree with that. So you're saying that there's no reason to clean such a wide area when they have to flee the scene quickly as possible? That's definitely true. Then there's only one conclusion. The culprit must have acted indiscriminately across that wide area. If they miss even 1 spot, there's a chance some print could remain, so they worked as hard as possible to clean a wide area. So were they sitting there lying in wait? Like, were they lying in wait on, crouched down on the floor? It's getting harder to understand. Why would the culprit be touching the floor so meticulously at the crime scene? Oh, that's so cute. The culprit might be someone who walks on all 4s. If you walk on all 4s, you're a beast, not a person. Beast? I figured it out. Culprit is Monokuma.
Huh, me?
It's clear. The culprit walked on all 4s, walks on 4 legs. Therefore, animal Monokuma is the culprit. It's obvious. Wow, thinking big.
No, it's true that I'm an animal, but I walk on 2 legs.
I doubt those front paws even have fingerprints to begin with. Wrong? Didn't think? It's hard to believe that, considering Monokuma has consistently said there's a culprit among us from the very start. It was still an interesting idea. Well, maybe that's not entirely off the mark. Huh? What are you talking about? I've given it some thought. I mean, the way a person walks around touching the floor so widely, it's like they were a 4-legged beast, right? Oh, so there's really a beast among us? What? Are you saying there's a 4-legged beast hiding its identity among us? No, one creature? The crawler man. So you're saying they got injected with some kind of monkey serum? That's hilarious. No, if it's 4 legs, it's a doggy. A doggy. I like it. Woo, woo. No, that's not what I mean. I'm asking you to consider the posture for a moment. Yeah, exactly. Posture is kneeling on the floor, standing on all 4s, and then feeling around in front of itself is a bit of an odd posture, isn't it? I think I understand. Or? What is it? No, what if I'm wrong? I'll just be drawing attention and giving poor answers. No, it's definitely wrong. Please stop talking to me and I won't pretend to know everything. Just say it already. No one will say anything if you're wrong. Really? Sure, that's what a debate is all about. Go ahead and speak your mind. Oh, pick up something. Okay, that makes sense. I think the culprit was trying to pick up something. Trying to pick up something? If that's definitely the case, then everything matches up perfectly. Feeling around the floor like that doesn't seem like... doesn't it seem like the reason you do that is to pick up something that fell on the floor? Why? This immediately makes you suspicious of Tadaida, though, because Tadaida's blind, right? She's blind, right? Because why would you need to be groping all across the floor to pick up something? Like, if you drop something, you should be able to just pick it up. Unless it's just very small, and then anyone might not be able to pick it up. But that's suspicious. No, I don't understand. Even if you drop something, you can just quickly pick it up and that's it. Do you really need to fumble around? Yeah, what they drop must not be very visible, or they don't have inner vision. I'm like, wait, Tadaida can't do it though. I'm confused, unless Justin was lying. But Justin was seen, right? Wasn't he seen by multiple people, not just Shitanda? And Shitanda was with them in the last minutes, right? So I don't think it's her. What they dropped, I guess it wasn't very visible. Yeah, they could be it. What if it was the same color as the carpet? And I had to feel around for it. Still, if you bring your face closer, it'll be clearer. I wonder why they have to touch around such a wide area. I'm sorry. I guess I was wrong. Maybe my thoughts were wrong too. Gosh, is he really about to say Tadaida is the one who did this? Okay, maybe Tadaida's not the one who did this, but Tadaida probably went... Was she in there? And then they went and covered up with fingerprints so she won't be suspected as being the one who committed a murder, even though she didn't commit the murder. I'm just confused. Hold on. It's too early to jump to conclusions. It wasn't clearly visible, something that can be interpreted differently. Can you give me an example? Let me see. It's either her or Dika. Dika... Let me see. It could also be Dika. I can imagine Nika dropping her glasses. Because I'm so nearsighted, I have to grope around all around to find my glasses. So if she dropped her glasses and it fell, she would have her fingerprints all over. So, but I don't understand why they would want to wash off her fingerprints unless she's the one who did that. But does someone wear contacts? And because someone who wears contacts dropped their contacts on the floor and they have to go and grasp around? Wait, they couldn't see clearly? Couldn't see clearly? Then an invisible person must be the culprit. Tadaira, you... Invisible, I think you mean blind, right? Yes? Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. How is that possible? Justin and Tadaira were together. Affirmative. There was no time to act alone. Unless, I could imagine, like, I was like, what if Justin helped her commit a murder just because? I don't know. And also, Tadaira... Never mind, hold on. Then, what the... Probably glasses. Nika's the only one who wears glasses. Oh, Jumonji! Does Jumonji wear glasses? I think Jumonji wears glasses, doesn't she? Jumonji and Nika wear glasses, so Jumonji could have dropped them too, and she might have tried to wipe off her. So she was in her room all the time. She was probably in the library. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see. If you're having trouble thinking, it might be easy to connect it with the item they dropped. Shall we organize it in the order of events? First, when did the culprit touch the floor? It was probably... It'd be after, right? Yeah. It has to be after the murder. Among the bloodstains that have been smeared, the part underneath the weapon was not smeared at all. That's right, that part wasn't swept, which means the culprit didn't clean that part. In other words, they didn't touch that place. That is to say, touching the floor occurred after the weapon was placed on the floor, I believe. If the blood was shed and the weapon was placed on the floor, that would mean the murder had already been committed, so touching the floor would also be considered an act after the murder. Aha, so that's how it is. Right, if that's the case, we can think about it like this. Culprit attacked Kizuki with a weapon. After putting down the weapon, they dropped something, but it's not clear exactly where it fell. They frantically touched around, searching the floor, and finally succeeded in finding it. After realizing what they had done, they snapped out of it, practically wiped the floor with a cloth to erase the fingerprints. What exactly did the culprit drop at the scene? It has to be glasses. That's the only thing that makes sense. How would we know? From the culprit's perspective, they clearly knew something had fallen to the ground but couldn't see it, so they were touching around a wide area. Oh. I guess earrings could also drop and you couldn't see. Tomoe, did you figure something out? I found it. What it is. Really? What is it? What is it? Yeah, someone who has poor vision, someone who wears glasses. Earlier, Mr. Shinono pointed to Mr. Daira as the culprit. This is an extension of that. The culprit has poor eyesight. It wasn't quite to the point of being not being able to see, but it was difficult enough to find something that had fallen on the floor. Their eyesight isn't good. That's a convincing point. But if the person's eyesight is that bad, would it be impossible for them to commit the crime? No, because they have glasses. Come on now. You can infer the item that the culprit dropped from there. An item so important that the culprit will go to the trouble wiping away fingerprints just to feel around the floor for it. An item that can be immediately identified when the culprit drops it. An item to assist the culprit with poor eyesight. Glasses, come on. Glasses! That shouldn't have taken y'all that long to figure out. So the culprit is a person that wears glasses then. There's no other way to explain it, right? If it's glasses, it fits all situations and conditions. How did they end up dropping that? Maybe they were moving around wildly, trying to swing a book and accidentally took them off? That sort of thing seems like it could happen. I mean, Jumonji's the last person who wears glasses, but I feel like it's not that simple. Someone must wear glasses and they just don't wear them regularly. Someone must have been wearing their glasses when they showed up. Or Jumonji came after the murder, but she didn't commit the murder. She just came and wiped away the glasses. And wiped away the fingerprints. I mean, like... Also, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm just looking in the chat right now, and I see that some people are in the chat talking. I'm so confused. I thought I had... I'm so sorry. Hold on. I thought that I had the chat loaded up on my screen so I could see it. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Joshua and Mayuri Katsura. Hello again. I'm so sorry. I don't know how long y'all have been in here, and I just have been ignoring y'all. I'm so sorry about that. I just looked at my webpage to see if the chat was see if the stream was still working, and I just noticed that I had stuff on the screen and it was not showing up just now. I fixed it. I'm so sorry that I just ignored y'all for like over half an hour, like 3/4 of an hour. How are y'all doing? I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. That's so embarrassing. Wait a minute, doesn't that mean the culprit has already been revealed? Why is everyone so calm? That's exactly as he said. There's only one person among us who wears glasses, right? Let me see. Yeah, she also wore glasses.
君しかいないよ。
Erica Jumonji, you're the only one who fits the criteria. What did you say? Yeah, I guess that's how they'll start things off. How typical. Like, Shitada already knows that you can't, like, come on now, this is so obvious. That can't be. Shitada, hold it for a minute. Jumonji, do you understand the reasoning so far? Sure. How about it? Can you refute it? We're not getting a response. Don't look at me with such scary eyes. Wait. Aren't you jumping to conclusions too quickly? It might not be glasses, you know. Oh? For example, instead of glasses, maybe contact lenses? Yes, exactly. Contacts can fall out. If it's lenses, shouldn't both sides come off? It's even harder to remove than glasses. The situation might be tricky, don't you think? I never thought that she would actually not wear glasses for sight. Then, what if Jumonji's glasses are just a prop? Nowadays, people just wear them for fashion. I have a few at home too. If those glasses are just for show, then that's something else. Should I say that it's unexpected? No, that's probably not it either. There was something Monokuma said before. Okay.
That's correct. While not on the same level, Tomoe's scarf and piercings are also from quite high-end brands. Jumonji's glasses have an extremely high refractive index, so they're quite expensive.
Okay, never mind. Completely forgot about that. Monokuma mentioned Jumonji's glasses in the dining hall last time. They're incredibly refractive, so they're expensive. You don't wear glasses like that just for show. But then, is Jumonji really? Miss Jumonji, did you truly wish harm upon Miss Kizuki? It seems like there isn't much to argue against. Unless the parties involved come forward to refute it, this inference seems difficult to overturn.
Has the conclusion already been reached this time? Jeez, if you catch the culprit this quickly, all the effort I put in creating the Monokuma file and setting up the courtroom would have been for nothing. Well, there's nothing I can do. I can't exactly get involved in a murder.
Oh, wait a minute, Monokuma. We haven't talked enough yet. Even so, it's difficult to imagine to immediately answer what other items the suspect might have dropped besides the glasses. Even so, the fact that a conclusion has already been reached feels a bit uneasy, I suppose. It's not helpful to blindly distrust a simple conclusion. Don't you know about Occam's razor?
What? Is that a domestic razor blade? Or an imported one?
You idiot! The name Occam obviously sounds foreign. Of course, it's an imported razor blade. Occam's razor is a philosophical principle that when all other things are equal, the simplest explanation is the best. In simple terms, less is more. This implies that the prejudice that the simple reasoning process must be incorrect is wrong. Oh, I learned a difficult word.
Did you guys forget what you were talking about for a moment? You guys were just discussing whether Jumonji is the culprit or not. I was talking about whether this is the end of the trial or not.
That's right. Then I'll ask you once more. Jumonji, are you the culprit or not? This is such a hassle. Do I really have to get involved? What is it? What is it? Are your eyes just for show? If you look at me, you can immediately tell that reason is nonsense. Oh yeah, she has that chain on, so she can't drop them. I forgot about that, yeah. If you look at me, you can immediately tell that reason is nonsense. You know what I mean? Actually, I could tell that too. The decisive flaw in Shitana's reason it can be found in Jumonji's appearance. Well, Shitana never said that she was the one. Okay, that's right. The flash anagram is about to begin. Would you like to hear an explanation? I mean, we already know what the answer is. She has her chain. The flash anagram is a minigame that gathers fragments of thoughts that flash like a bolt of lightning. When the flash anagram begins, various letters appear randomly on the screen. The goal is to look at the letters appearing on the screen, deduce the appropriate word to fill in the blank at the bottom left, and fill in the letters in order. Question marks in the bottom left should be filled in, starting from the left. The letters must be tapped 3 times to be placed in the blank, and if you try to fill it in the wrong order, the word will not be completed and will instead become a reason for deduction point. For point deduction, sorry. So please be careful. Pressing the decision key in mid-air will not incur any additional penalty, but if the time limit passes, you will lose 1 point of speech power. Now, then, let's begin the flash anagram. Oh, gosh, hold on. Gosh, I'm so terrible at them. Oh my gosh. There we go. Are you talking about the glasses straps? That's right. How is that no one noticed this? Glasses straps? Why? It's only natural. When your glasses are hanging around your neck, even if you swing your body and they fall off, they'll just dangle there instead of hitting the floor. Oh, really? I've never used the kind with a strap, so I don't know. Me too. I just thought it was kind of a hanging thread. I didn't even realize that her glasses had a strap. Isn't the last one a bit much? In other words, there is no need to fumble around on the floor, which doesn't match the actions of the culprit. I understand now. It might be difficult to make such a hasty conclusion. For example, what about the possibility that the glasses strap was cut? As you can see, Jumonji's glasses strap is a metal chain. It's quite possible for glass to come off during daily activity, but they wouldn't just break from ordinary impacts. Or we can consider scenario: touched by victim before collapsing, then severed. Like that? What are you saying? Before Miss Suzuki was struck in the head and fell, are you referring to the case where the chain broke as she instinctively pulled on her glasses strap? Affirmative. You two have amazing chemistry. I've gotten used to him by now. Isn't that a possibility worth considering? Of course, there's no definitive wounds on Miss Kizuki's body, but we can't definitively say there was no last struggle. No, that's probably not it. Why is that? I just remember what Miyuki said. The reason Monokuma mentioned the refractive index to Jumonji's glasses was that he had information to share with us in the first place, right? Anyone remember what that information was? Oh, that's true. Yep. So she couldn't replace it. While an infinite amount of clothing is provided in the private rooms, no accessories are offered. That was their story. And here, glasses are categorized as an accessory, right? Then you're saying that if the string was cut, there's no way Jumonji's glasses strap, the one she's wearing now, would still be intact? Yes, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. Then are you saying that Shitanda's deduction was wrong? That his deduction he was so confident about? He never said that it was Jumonji though, y'all. Literally, that's what he's doing. Could it be that he's testing us again? Well, I'm not saying that he didn't, okay, let me just say he never said it was Jumonji. He let y'all go and talk it out with Jumonji, but he never said it was Jumonji. Huh? No, there's no way that happened. I do have a conscience, you know. This time I generally got it wrong. Did you? Okay, he's actually saying that he actually was thinking that that's what happened. No, I don't believe that. I don't even believe that. He knows that she has a strap on her glasses. There's no way he just thought that. That's hard to believe. Just looking at Jumonji's face is enough to refute that. Are you seriously saying that you didn't even think of that? Are you serious? Or that's actually just because I'm a shy guy that I freeze up whenever I see a girl's face. Wow, look at that fierce expression. Chitanda, based on the circumstances, it seems that you've deliberately led the investigation in the wrong direction again. Is that true? No, I just... You guys are so quick to notice. You're right, I tested you again. Why is that? Tell me the truth. Well, discussion isn't something you can do by yourself. It's something you do together, right? But in the last trial, only the two people who uncovered the truth first were allowed to lead the proceedings, right? So I wanted to see if you guys could actually spot the incorrect reasoning even without my help. I had no bad intention, so please calm down. Oh really? Then from now on, until the trial ends, don't say a single word. What? I made myself clear. If you try to lead us in another deduction and test us again, you will not be forgiven. This is an order as your leader. We'll gather our wisdom and figure out the truth ourselves, so you need to just stay quiet and only speak up if we come to the wrong conclusion. You probably don't want to die either, so you won't be able to resist responding in that situation. So just keep quiet, got it? Okay. Wow, because oh, they bummed out. I've never seen them like this before. It seems like they've given in quite easily. But anyway, it's good that worked out. He really needs to reflect on his own behavior. There was a moment of confusion, but anyway, back to the main topic. If Miss Jumonji isn't the culprit either, then who is? At this rate, there can't be a suspect. I don't think that there was any major contradictions or mistakes in the reasoning. Which part should we start reviewing again? After all, there's no way to object the culprit dropped. After all, there's no way to object. The culprit dropped wasn't a pair of glasses, right? That part seems so logically sound that I can't really imagine there'd be any other answer. It easily resolves in questions related to bloodstains. It could also be some earrings too. The evidence interpretation might be wrong. Maybe Shitanda's experiment was flawed, or perhaps the culprit tried to erase something other than fingerprints. Then we got another answer? It's not quite simple to get that though. Or maybe someone else among us wears glasses too. Are there any others besides Miss Jumonji? Denied. Only librarian. Uh-oh. We don't wear glasses. Uh-oh. How do you know? Ego? Does Ego wear glasses if Mikawa saw it? Actually, there is one more person. Speak. Who? Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, Rika. Oh, I guess I should speak in the past. They were. No, just forget it. It's nonsense. If we were talking in the past tense, someone among us who used to wear glasses. There's no way. Yeah, Rika, obviously. Okay.
君しかいないよ。
Right now I'm imagining that she got hit in the head and she bent down trying to grope for her glasses, and then she was killed after that, and they erased her fingerprints because it would show that she was alive after one hit, maybe? I don't know. Are you seriously implying Kizuki? This is ridiculous. Are you saying that Kizuki hit herself? Well, even if we somehow managed to skip the hidden part, there's no way she could have handled the cleanup, like wiping away the fingerprints. I just said whatever came to mind.
Oh, that might be convincing. Kizuki from the dead. That's it. After being hit in the head, Kizuki came back to life. Erased the evidence. Just like that.
How was that possible?
You were the one who brought it up, Kizuki. Why are you so freaked out?
But I just thought about it. It's so scary.
Not exactly a pretty sight, is it?
I told you to be quiet.
The starting point itself is fine. If there are no suspects among the living, would it be better to look among the dead?
What?
Ooh, as expected, Kizuki from the dead.
No, that's just nonsense and not worth a single word. However, if the person who cleaned the floor is Kizuki, then it all makes sense. Now, I don't understand why she would clean the floor though. It seems to fit together, but I'm still not sure what you're saying. How did Kizuki erase the fingerprints and why? I get what you're trying to say. Have you realized something, Miss Jumonji?
It's not a big deal. You just need to shift your perspective a little. Now listen up.
What exactly is the shift of perspective that Jumonji is talking about? I really need to pay attention to what she says.
Let's assume the white rabbit scrubbed the floor.
No, wait, how could that even?
I was about to elaborate that. Please be quiet. Anyway, the reason was not to erase fingerprints. If the body didn't come back to life, that must be it. So it has nothing to do with the culprit touching the floor. But still, it was stained with blood, right? If that's the case, then Miss Kizuki rubbed the floor. It must have been after being hit by the culprit.
Oh, because she was... How close? Yeah. She was moving around on the floor and she rubbed it. That makes sense. No, Sabrashina, in fact, such cloth might exist. What did you say? It's right in front of it's right in front of our eyes too. I don't quite understand what you mean. What are you trying to say? There's no need to overthink it. Kizuki actually wears cloth over her hands all the time. Yep. Oh, that's it.
That's right.
Kizuki usually wore a gown that was too big and walked around with sleeves hanging down. Yeah, she was crawling on the ground. That's probably what she did. Are you really trying to claim that she wiped the floor with her sleeves? Yes, as proof, Kizuki's sleeves were stained with blood. As if it was smeared around like that, it would have been rubbed with something. It definitely was. It was definitely not just a stain from blood. I thought it was because she got hit in the head. Me too. There was just so much blood from my head that I didn't even notice that properly. Because your observation skills are so lacking that you fall in the... Wait. Because your observation skills are so lacking, you'll fall into the culprit's trap. Huh? The culprit's trap? Oh, that'll come later. The important part is now. You're right, but I still don't quite understand what you're saying. So to sum it up, are you saying that Miss Kizuki just swept the bloody floor with her hand? I wonder if there really was a reason to do it that way. She's crawling on the ground. Why are y'all taking so long to understand what's happening? With her hands on the floor? Everywhere? Because she was crawling on the ground. But that somehow feels familiar though. Yeah, we were just discussing that a moment ago. Right. You mean that part where the culprit touched around the floor, you looked for the glasses. Kizuki couldn't live without her glasses. If she dropped them, she would have frantically touched around on the floor to pick them up. I know that better than anyone else. I'm kind of confused. My head, it feels like it's spinning. How are y'all so confused about this? I don't understand. Why are y'all confused about this? That's understandable. What we just deduced has completely been overturned. There's nothing completely contradictory about touching around with her sleeves rolled up trying to look for her glasses. Especially for important items you need right away, like glasses. It's understandable being in a panic. Even though she was in such a hurry that she didn't even think about rolling up her sleeves to avoid getting her glasses dirty with blood. Okay, what oddities still remain? But even so, there are countless oddities. For example, the fact that the blood was smeared on the floor when Kizuki cleaned it up indicates that Kizuki had already started to bleed before that, yeah. How could Kizuki find her glasses while bleeding, even with the culprit right behind her?
Sarashina, you've been frequently interrupting for some reason since a while ago.
I don't know. I guessed him as the culprit, but the fact that, what's her name, Kanna has called him out so soon, I don't know, it's making me think that he's not the culprit. I'm just asking for an explanation regarding points I personally find unacceptable. What's wrong with that?
Your attitude seems a bit sharper than before.
No, Kanna, I think it's a perfectly reasonable question. Even I, who am saying this, am only barely understanding the situation. That's exactly what I thought. Okay, the fact that we had to jump in and kind of push Kanna back a little bit before she went and grilled him is making me think that he's going to be important later on. Because I think Kanna's on to something. That's exactly what I thought. There are still too many obstacles to the theory that Kizuki is the one who mopped the floor. No, it's not. Really. How is that? I don't understand how this is such an issue. And what if we overcome that with a shift in perspective? That's not possible. The smeared blood? Isn't it from her head wound caused by the blow to the head? It is possible. Oh, okay. Curious. Okay, King. Also, did the font change for the names? If you intend to push through a logic that defies reason, you have to deal with me. Kizuki's bleeding cannot be explained. The hypothesis loses its strength. What do you think? Strangely enough, Sawashina seems to be on edge. So I just need to convince you, right? Alright, then I'll try. It's not that I didn't think this through. A single shift in perspective is enough. Okay, I don't know what shift in perspective they're talking about. Let me see. From now, our rebuttal showdown will begin. Would you like to hear an explanation? Let's just do it. There are times the character disagrees with the main character, makes some argument, event, one-on-one discussion, purposes to up, down, left, right to cut them. I think the solution in favor. Can be slash or trooper as normal line. Excuse me. Shift. Space. Excuse me. Spacebar. Okay. Okay, fallen books, broken locker room, Mikawa's alibi. Oh, the one was not, okay. Can I pause this for a moment? Hold on. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be fighting this, sorry. I'm just reading it. Okay, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, oops. Okay, I'm gonna pause this for, oh, well, I can't pause it right now. She oh no. Okay, I'm gonna pause right now. This is what I was thinking. I'm thinking that because she didn't have the ladder, Mikawa took the ladder from the library that she couldn't use it. So she went she tried to probably get some books off the shelf. Some books probably fell on her head. When she was trying to reach books off the shelf because without no ladder. Maybe when she fell, when the books fell and knocked the glasses off her face, she went to find the glasses off the floor, and then she got murdered after that. Because the books were already on the ground before the blood was, right? Because there was nothing underneath it, so the books were on the ground, and the blood had to come and not go underneath the books, right? So I think that's what happened. When I first saw her, I thought she fell. I thought someone knocked her and she hit the shelves, and then she fell on the ground and the books fell on the ground. But I think she might have been trying to reach something. A book fell on her. Her glasses got knocked off. Blood got on those books some type of way, but not on the bottom because they hit her head. But after that, she got killed, and then the rest of the blood didn't reach underneath the books because they were already on the ground. Okay. What do you mean by a different way? There's no injuries on her body other than her head. How exactly do you propose the culprit caused the brain injury? And if that happened by some miracle, it did happen. Culprit would likely not let Kizuki find her glasses. How about I can come explanation? There's only one way for a person to bleed without causing physical trauma if that to happen. Fallen books. Okay, I have to use this one. Yeah. I was on to something when I first saw this. I just didn't know exactly what happened. Okay, the fallen books. Yeah, she did get hit from the shelf. Not exactly the way I thought at first, but yes, Sawashina, you're right. Kizuki's first wound wasn't that deep, but the second was fatal, so Kizuki couldn't wipe the blood from her head. After all, what does that mean? If the question cannot be resolved, the reasoning will not progress. In other words, the blood came from somewhere else. Do you want to claim that it's not Kizuki's blood? However, the physical examination results definitely confirmed that it was indeed Kizuki's blood. Oh, she got hit in the nose? Is that what you're trying to say? That she had a nosebleed? And then she wiped her nose like that? That's where you need to change the perspective. There's exactly one way a person can bleed like that without any external injuries. Do you know what it is? Yeah. Nosebleed. Nosebleed? No way. Alright. Hold on a second. Alright. Hold on a second. Is there anyone who can summarize this? There's been so much back and forth that I'm starting to get confused. Why do we need so much summary? Come on, y'all. Y'all should understand what's happening. Well, it's like this. The white rabbit somehow ended up with her glasses falling off at the same time as her nose started bleeding, and as she tried to find her glasses. Blood kept dripping while she was touching around on the floor, so the blood on the carpet got smeared into the sleeve, leaving that mark. Do you understand? Well, I suppose the only way to bleed that much without any external injuries is a nosebleed, but this is a very sudden turn of events, isn't it? Actually, it's not such a sudden story. When you look at it as a nosebleed, there's one more point that can be resolved. Why there was just blood splattered on some books but not underneath it. What is it, Ego? Earlier, Miyuki mentioned Kizuki's gown, right? He said there was smudges on the sleeves. However, the truth is, a fair amount of blood had also splattered on the front of Kizuki's clothes, not just on her sleeves. Doesn't that strike you as odd? It's highly likely Kizuki was hit around the eyes, thrown off balance, and then struck in the temple with a downward blow, causing her to collapse and die. Then it's unnatural for so much blood to splatter on her torso like that. Understood. Blood probably do not splatter, not much. Blood stained on clothes is contradiction. But if Kizuki had been bleeding profusely from the nose, the story would be different. Blood from a nosebleed flows directly from the nose to the body. Maybe, after putting on her glasses and straightening up, she was trying to assess the situation and didn't notice? I see that evidence can be interpreted that way. The hypothesis of a nosebleed has become more convincing. Then the culprit hit Kizuki's on the nose? No, he did not. Come on now. No, what on earth are you? I told you, if the culprit hit Kizuki and caused bleeding, there's no way they'd let Kizuki scrub an area as large as 1 square meter. That's not blood caused by the culprit. Oh, I see. So how did she end up like this? Okay, Jumonji and Miyuki, you two looked really exhausted, didn't you? Kizuki, who investigated the library with you, might have been the same. Did her nose bleed when she was starting to get fatigued? No, it's probably because she had the rhinitis. Probably she didn't have toilet paper. Well, why wouldn't she have toilet paper though? That's the interesting thing. Why wouldn't she have toilet paper? If she didn't get hit from falling books, then it would be because she didn't have toilet paper. With her rhinitis. That's not it. Kizuki wasn't up all night reading, so she was pretty well composed. You still don't know, do you? She might not have told you the truth because she didn't want to worry you. Isn't it too coincidental that her nose started to bleed at the exact moment her glass fell off? There has to be a correlation between the two. She was hit with books that fell off the shelf because she didn't have a ladder. So here's a question. what do you think happened to the White Rabbit? That's she got hit in the face.
これだ
She got hit in the face by something will be the most reasonable answer. Indeed, that's it. Well, isn't there another possible answer? For example? Oh, I didn't think about this too deeply. Right, she fell down. She actually tripped and fell to the floor, knocking her nose on something, causing it to bleed. No, come on now. Oh, thanks for the assist. If she falls and hits her face, her glasses will come off and fall in a limited location, so it'll be noticeable. If that's the case, there's no reason to be sweeping such a wide area while dripping blood from her nose. At least you wouldn't have bumped into something stationary like a bookshelf or floor, right? The possibility that her glasses flew off because she flailed her arms, isn't that too much of a coincidence? I've never worn glasses before, so I'm not sure. While falling, if you flail your arms, there's a chance your arm could hit your glasses and knock them far away. However, the possibility doesn't seem high enough to be treated seriously. And if you just fell and got a nosebleed, you would have hit your nose on the floor, so your head would be down. In that situation, even if glasses have flown away, wouldn't they just land on the floor? Yeah, I admit it. That was my opinion, so why are you admitting it? So, the likelihood of hitting a fixed object is low. Does that mean that she hit her face on something unstable? In such cases, people usually say it hit the mark. And there were a few books scattered around the scene, right? What do you think about the theory that the victim was hit with one of those? Oh, I think it's the most likely one. I see. It makes sense now. I thought it was strange. The books are on the top shelf, so it's unlikely that Kizuki and the culprit actually knocked them down. Even so, it's questionable why they didn't immediately put them back if they had dropped it by accident before Kizuki was attacked. But what if the fallen book hit your face, causing your glasses to fall off, and your nose start bleeding? It's possible to interpret that she was not in the mood to return the books right away, or she couldn't reach it because she had no ladder. Then I wonder if the fallen book might have left a bruise on her face. If it had missed just slightly, wouldn't there be a chance nothing would be left? Since it was a direct hit, the glasses didn't fall right at her feet but flew far away, and it took some time to find them. In summary, so Kizuki was trying to get a book from a higher shelf and accidentally dropped it, then got hit in the face by the falling book, right? There isn't other possibility? It's as Mr. Blade said. Of course, it's an incredible assumption considering that the books were found in the exact state it had fallen. But we can't entirely rule out that the possibility that she might have been struck by another object. That can be easily refuted. Didn't you say that the White Rabbit was wearing the same gown and clothes when she died? May I ask how that serves as evidence? I think you know why. Wouldn't it be strange if Kizuki was still wearing the same clothes? Huh? Normally, if your clothes were covered in blood, you would want to take them off right away. In particular, the sleeves that Kizuki often used to hold things would stain a considerable amount of blood, and if she were to pick up a book with those hands, the book would be immediately stained with blood. If she had the time, Kizuki would have hurriedly taken off her clothes. But Kizuki was murdered while still wearing that very same outfit. That means that the time between the nosebleed occurred and when the culprit killed Kizuki wasn't very long. In other words, you're saying that there was no time to sort out something that hit her face, regardless of what it was that Kizuki was hit with? And since there was nothing left on the scene except for books, it naturally follows that the books became that something. Well, it's unfortunate that we have someone who's quite quick to understand. Jumonji, can I ask you something? What is it? What's gone into you all of a sudden? I might have misunderstood you, but you seem a bit different from the image you've shown so far. I never thought of you as someone who would be so passionate to participate in a mystery like this. Did I seem like that? Well, I guess it's true that I'm a bit worked up right now. Getting worked up? You'll understand if you listen. If I tell you now, it'll just confuse you. It's bothering me. You wouldn't happen to be pulling a prank like that guy Shitanda, would you? I totally forgot he even existed. What do you think of me anyway? Honestly, comparing me to that guy while seriously trying to figure out things out makes me feel really gross. You're right. You should have behaved better. Always just reading books. I handle myself better than you, who speak so damn slowly. Ooh, and ooh. Alright. Looks like a fight's brewing. Everyone calm down. First of all, Jumonji, I understand how you feel. It must be frustrating to put so much effort and dedication only to be suspected of doing something unnecessary. It seems like everyone got a bit on edge because of Shitanda. It doesn't matter what you say to us, so go ahead and tell us anything. I promise I won't argue back. Okay, what Drew bomb gonna be dropped right now? I'm so frightened. This is annoying now. Fine. Whether you're confused or not, I'm gonna say it, so listen up. The culprit of this case set a trap. Are you trying to say that someone set a murder scheme, that if someone triggers the murder scheme, are you saying that someone set a trap for someone else to trigger the murder? Or are they saying that they have us, they're misleading us on the true events by obfuscating some stuff? Or are you saying that they set a trap for Kizuki? A trap? What do you mean? Okay, so yeah, they mean that they're obfuscating stuff. A trap in the literal sense. By tampering with the evidence, they are leading our reasoning in a different direction. You're saying that we've made a wrong deduction. What do you mean by that? Want me to give you an example? According to your current reasoning, you're saying that Kizuki had a nosebleed, right? Then the absolute must-have item wasn't at the scene. Does anyone know about it? Oh, the toilet paper, right? Something that wiped away the nosebleed. Are you talking about that? Yes, judging by the amount of blood on the floor, they weren't just standing around with their hands in their pockets. It seems she even wiped the bloodstains with the hem of her sleeve. There were no direct bloodstains on her sleeve, only faint ones from rubbing, it seems. When you get a nosebleed, of course you wipe it with tissues or cloth nearby, right? But as I recall, there wasn't a single ball of tissue around Kizuki to wipe away her nosebleed. Could it be that you're suggesting, Miss Jumonji, that the culprit took them? Wouldn't that be the case? Besides that, what reason would there be for that to disappear? You know what I think happened? I'm starting to think that this toilet paper roll that she had was erased. I think the culprit tried to get rid of it, and what I'm starting to think now is that someone threw it into the swimming pool for it to dissolve, probably. I'm like, well, there's also toilets, right? So they could just use the toilet, but I feel like a toilet would be clogged if they did that. They couldn't just flush the whole thing down the toilet, so I think they would have to use something bigger like a swimming pool. So now they're starting to get me to think that someone went to the swimming pool and threw it into the swimming pool, or Kuzu did that because she went back to the swimming pool. Because they could not find toilet paper nowhere. So I'm trying to understand where it went. I don't think it's gonna be on their person, right? It wouldn't be on their body. So it might be that they threw it in the swimming pool. And the reason why we couldn't go into the swimming pool when we tried to go and check again, because of maintenance from Monokuma. But it was open during the time before the investigation. So someone had the opportunity to go into the swimming pool and drop that toilet paper into the pool. That's what I think. Wouldn't that be the case? Besides that, what reason would there be for that to disappear? Meaning that's the trap? Did they get rid of whatever she used to pipe up the nosebleed that's preventing us from reaching the conclusion that it was a nosebleed? Yeah, well, the truth is, at first, I couldn't even think of the idea of a nosebleed. I just went along with whatever that guy she tongue said. Don't tell me. Does that mean that the culprit anticipated that we would come to this point before they escaped and used that trick? If they thought this far ahead, that means they probably would have had to know that she carried toilet paper. And who would know besides Jumonji, us, and Kuzu? I don't know. Let me just see. Or maybe they just thought of that in the moment. Yeah, isn't that too far ahead? Are you saying that all the reasoning we've done so far has been predicted? But then it would be hard to explain why the culprit would have gotten rid of something she used to wipe their bloody nose. There's nothing that comes to mind except the possibility that they cut off any doubts to prevent any thoughts related to nosebleeds. I'm not finished talking. So, if you forget all the evidence related to the nosebleeds, what will be left behind? Jumonji, the only crime scene, will remain where you could be pointed as the culprit. The traces left from touching around on the floor will remind you of glasses, and the only person who wears glasses is you. Do you get why I'm worked up right now? Someone's trying to frame Jumonji? I'm so pissed off that someone was killed in the sacred library and now they're trying to frame me as the culprit. I'm so furious at this moment, I could explode. So you're desperate to find the culprit, right? Yeah, I'll never forget what they've done to me. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm glad it seems to have motivated you. So what you were saying is that the culprit might have fully anticipated and might be fully anticipating and manipulating our deductions, right? We'll have to consider the authenticity of the evidence as we deduce what happened. Then, should we consider deductions we've made so far? Yeah, that's right. For example, what if the smudge on the floor is a fake piece of evidence? Then all the deductions we made so far are for nothing. Everyone's panicking so much right now. Gosh, she thought this was probably gonna pop up right now, probably. Are we doing the right thing right now? Are we just being played by the culprit? Miss Jumonji, I'm afraid you might have spoken out of turn. This confusion is only worsening, you know. Isn't that a good thing? You become more cautious. It seems like the situation's only getting worse. However, there is a bit of good news. For example, the possibility that those smudge traces are fake evidence is very low, right? Oh, really? Why do you think that? Can you tell us? When you think about it, that's true. If it were supposed to be fake evidence, the culprit would have had to remove the gown from Kizuki's body and wipe the floor with it. Well, that's assuming the fingerprints would be left behind since the culprit didn't wear gloves. Besides, it doesn't make much sense for the culprit who needs to get away from the scene as quickly as possible to go through such trouble for misdirection. You can pretty much just dismiss the idea. You can pretty much dismiss the idea that it was a misdirection. I guess if that's the case, that's a relief. Well, I hope that there aren't any traps in the deduction so far. Okay, so we can continue like this, right? I say it's okay, but I'm feeling a bit uneasy. They predicted our deductions even set up traps. Just like being in the palm of God's hand. Mr. Blade, is the Buddha's palm?
No, I think it's just a delusion.
After hearing the explanation, you still think it's a delusion? Then I have to give you another example.
What? There's something else?
It was already mentioned. Do you remember why I deduced earlier that the culprit must have touched the floor after committing the murder? That was the part I was referring to. Isn't that because out of all the bloodstains that were wiped away, the part underneath the murder weapon remained untouched? Right, the fact that only that part wasn't wiped behind. Right, the fact that only that part wasn't wiped clean suggests that the culprit didn't tamper there. But was that the conclusion? Did the culprit sweep the floor? It turned out to be White Rabbit who did it, right? So that means that that book is not the murder weapon. Because that book fell on her face, it fell to the ground, she started bleeding, and then she started swiping to find her glasses, and that's probably what happened. In other words, before the culprit put the weapon down on the floor would have already been swept, so it's strange that only the part underneath the weapon wasn't swept, right? And that was another trick of the culprit. They deliberately placed the weapon in the spot. Oh, okay. So they must have done that on purpose. Okay, so they just put it in the spot where she didn't sweep. Okay. Okay. They deliberately placed the weapon in the spot Kizuki wouldn't accidentally touch, erasing the possibility that Kizuki had wept the floor. I was just about to say that. Anyway, it's just like what that mechanic girl said. If the trap theory is just a delusion, that wouldn't make sense, would it? Do you understand? Alright. For now, let's proceed with our deductions, keeping a healthy wariness of whatever it is we're dealing with. Whether it actually exists or not will be revealed at the end. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about. Yeah, back to what we were talking about. But what were we talking about originally? What were we talking about? Okay. Step ladder. How come we only have one bullet per non-stop debate? Oh, where were we? Kizuki's face was hit by a book up to that point. Oh. Thanks.
But is that the conclusion? Trying to take a book off the high shelf and dropped it. It's just too obvious.
Agreed. It happens. To the conclusion we reached by gathering everyone's wisdom is so obvious. What are we gonna do now? Okay, I was wondering if that was the right one.
うよ。
それは違うよ。それは違うよ。No, that's not it. Huh? It's clearly it's clearly strange that Kizuki was hit in the face while reaching for a book and got a nosebleed.
Why is that, Miyuki?
Kizuki always used the stepladder when taking books out in the library. If she uses that, Kizuki's height would almost be the same as the books on the top shelf. If you accidentally dropped a book in that situation, this definitely would not hit your face. If Mr. Miyuki's story is true, it's definitely strange.
She might have just been too lazy to use the letter at that exact moment, you know?
Or it was removed because Mikawa took the ladder. Come on now. It's hard to say. Having this ladder is quite useful.
It's such a relief that it exists. Without it, I would have had to strain quite a bit every time I pull books that I can now easily access whenever I want.
Do you have to use a ladder every time you take a book from the shelf? Isn't that inconvenient?
Not at all. In fact, not using is more convenient, right? I can't imagine investigating without this now.
She also said that she uses a step ladder to get books on the top shelf and that she'd been even more inconvenienced without one. Do you remember Shitanda? Yeah, that's exactly word for word. I heard the whole thing. Exactly, good thing that Shitanda overheard our conversation back then. It's strange that someone who acted like that would suddenly be annoyed and tried to take a book without using the ladder, pushing their luck, because it was missing.
Even so, can the situation be explained? Imagine getting hit in the face with a falling book even after using the ladder. I don't get it.
This is difficult. I'm so tired of these people. I'm tired of these people. I'm so tired of these people. Come on now. Maybe while climbing the ladder, that accidentally knocked over a book that was stuck there, and then it fell as she was looking up. The book was wobbling unsteadily, eventually fell onto her face. If that's the case, that don't even make no sense.
Good guess. But it's not that. If that's were the case, there's no way her glasses could have flown so far away.
Oh, right. That's how it was. The fact that White Rabbit's glasses came off and she had a nosebleed means that there was quite a distance between the book and her face, wouldn't you say? We understand that. She used the ladder. It's just that we can't figure out why there was such a drop even though the ladder was used. A ladder was not used, though. Come on. Like, y'all need to think. Y'all need to think. Y'all need to think. What if she couldn't use the ladder? What does that mean? That's exactly what I mean. If there's no way Kizuki could have used the ladder, then couldn't it have been a situation where she could not use the ladder? That's what I was thinking. Thank you. Come on. The first possibility that comes to mind is someone probably took it.
Huh? We talked about that earlier. Mikawa mentioned he took it.
Eek! Me? No, we can't, though. I mean, yes, we can. I mean, sorry, we already talked about this. We can't jump to conclusions. Someone else might. We can't jump to conclusions. Someone else might have taken it. But there are no other testimonies about that. Couldn't the culprit have taken and kept silent? They likely didn't want to needlessly be associated with the incident. That's probably not it. Okay, it was just Kizuki and Mikawa. Okay, I wanted to see who had the fingerprints on it. Okay. That's probably not it. There were no other fingerprints on the ladder beside Kizuki and Mikawa. I'm having doubts on whether we can just gloss over this so easily. What if they use a cloth or a piece of their clothes in place of gloves to carry it? Yeah, especially Tomoe. Maybe you could just wrap your hands around a long scarf. Period. I was like, okay, wait. I didn't mean to redirect suspicion onto me. Point taken. That is unlikely. No, it's all right to skip over that. There's a reason we don't need to consider that possibility. Oh, what is it? Perhaps Jumonji's saying that because flash anagram start. Uchter? What does that mean? Laughter? Wait. Man's laughter? What does that even mean? Oh. Okay, right. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, huh? Oh. Man's laughter. That is crazy. Manslaughter. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. Man's laughter? What does man's laughter have anything to do with anything? Manslaughter. Accidental. What do you mean accidental? What does this mean? Does this even count? What? The possibility of this being an accidental murder is high. Accidental murder? This? Accidental murder? Oh my goodness gracious, I'm so tired. What? Manslaughter? Okay. I guess that as well. This makes sense since the murder weapon was a book, right? If they really wanted to kill someone, they would have brought a more convincing weapon. No matter how many weapons Kuzu confiscated, at least it wouldn't be books. Manslaughter. Oh, I hope it's not manslaughter. What if it's a trap? What if they deliberately made us think that way? What if they set a trap? Then you're saying that the culprit intentionally used the book at the scene of the murder weapon, at the scene as a murder weapon to create an impression of a crime of passion? No way. Is this also a trip? Well, I wouldn't say that given how difficult the circumstances are, aren't they? Books are hard to hold and there's no guarantee you could heal someone with one even if you hit them. Just as it was mentioned, if someone says they'll kill a person, at least it wouldn't be with a book. But now, they died by it, right? Okay, I'm trying to understand how you could accidentally hit someone in the temple with a book. How does that happen? How do you accidentally hit someone in the temple with a book? That's because the corner of the book happened. That's because the corner of the book happened to hit a temple, a critical spot. If you don't hit the critical spot, the chances drop significantly. Yeah, I guess. Getting hit with a book would have hurt, but would it actually kill you? Even in a library, the place is full of books. If you aim poorly, then your target might even pick up a book and counterattack. Moreover, the scene was a library during peak hours when people were moving about. If the attack fails and the victim screams, there's no way to know how many people would hear it or how quickly others would arrive at the scene. I think there are too many drawbacks of using a book as a weapon simply for setting traps. What do you think? Then, in that case, the cure is worse than disease. That's why it has to be considered manslaughter, right? I knew I shouldn't have given my opinion. So, what's the connection between the accidental homicide and the stepladder? I'm confused though. Are you saying that when Mikawa got the ladder, got the ladder, brought it to the warehouse, and then brought it back, and then accidentally committed manslaughter? Mikawa, please! Please, not Mikawa. Of all people, not Mikawa, please. I don't know how you could do that. Because he would have also had to get rid of the toilet paper, right? That means he would have been conscious that he killed someone. But I don't know how he could just hide the fact that he killed someone this quickly, unless he just unhinged and we just don't know about it. Since it was an impulsive murder, the culprit wouldn't have prepared gloves or moved the ladder carefully to avoid leaving fingerprints. Therefore, if the culprit touched the ladder, the fingerprints would be left behind. However, since there were only the... Okay, so the culprit did not do that, okay. However, since there were only the fingerprints of Mikawa Kizuki on the ladder, it could be concluded that the culprit did not move the ladder. Yeah, there aren't any even any spare gloves at the school. Out of all of us, Mikawa's the only one who usually wears gloves, and even then he only wears one. If the culprit had moved the ladder, it would have been fingerprints left. There would have been fingerprints left for sure. Huh? But isn't she wearing them too? These are called fingerless gloves. With my fingers completely exposed like this, do you think my fingerprints wouldn't show if I wear this? I see. So the conclusion is that Miss Kizuki didn't use a ladder because Mr. Mikawa took it? Isn't it too early to jump to conclusions? The ladder could have been broken, you know. That would have been the case. It was fine when we checked. On top of that, the dust had been struck between the parts on top of that, the dust that had been stuck between the parts was still there. Wait. Then because I brought the ladder, Kizuki forced herself to get the books, and then she got a nosebleed? Did I cause Kizuki's death because I took the ladder? I don't know. It seems like the culprit would have killed Kizuki regardless of her condition. Someone tell that guy to calm down before he flips out again. It's hard to listen to him. Hold on a moment, please. Aren't you overlooking a crucial point? Huh? What? The chance that Mr. Mikawa is the culprit. Of course, while Mr. Mikawa was with Miss Ego, he touched the ladder then. But couldn't he have touched it at other times as well? Please. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think he's the one to do it. I don't think so. Indeed. It's a possibility that's hard to overlook. Hold on. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? I don't know exactly when Mikawa brought the letter with Eiko, but going back to a place he's been to before and taking something he once took feels a bit forced, doesn't it? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe Mikawa read all our thoughts and tried to provoke that kind of reaction. It could be that. I can see right through you with my x-rays. See? How about you tell the truth now? No, it's not true. Kanna, stop this nonsense. Mikawa's not the culprit. Aww. Not the culprit. Is that true? So you hid something from us before? When we was given alibis, you hid something? Truthfully, revealing this much from the start feels a bit like I'm butting in too much. Without making things certain, I don't think the reasoning will make any progress. It's definitely encouraging that one less suspect is in the picture. So what's your reason for him not being the culprit? It's a fact that that can be revealed with one piece of evidence that was already mentioned. It's the weapon. The weapon? Oh, is it because why would he not wipe? Okay. Is it because why would he not wipe his fingerprints off of the ladder if he did it off the weapon as well? That's probably it. That's what I'm thinking right now. The weapon? Could it be that more information is still contained within it? It's not even a different topic. It's something you all saw while investigating. Does anyone know about the specifics of the weapon? We all had a conversation about this with the people who analyzed the fingerprints. Oh, she talked about this, didn't she?
これだ。
You're referring to the bloodstains on the murder weapon and the fingerprints that were also left on it, right? Wait, fingerprints? Do we have those on it? Haven't you seen the evidence? No, I did see it, but I didn't know I was supposed to interpret it as a fingerprint. You should have put more effort into the investigation. The culprit hit Kizzy with a book and blood splattered, leaving hand-shaped stains, right? Yeah, that's right. So that means that the culprit's hands would have had blood splattered on them, right? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, that's what you meant. Also, Mikawa went back to the locker room where she could have had access to the pool, so she could have wiped her hands in the pool and washed her hands, but she could have also gotten into the bathroom. I guess that don't make sense. That's why she had to specifically go to the pool. I don't know. Let's just see. That's exactly why Mikawa can't be the culprit, got it? Well, what is it though? I'm really sorry as someone seeking defense, but I have no idea either. In my opinion, I think it's because he's wearing gloves.
これだ。
Isn't it because Mikawa wore a glove on one hand? If the blood splattered on your hand while wearing gloves, of course the gloves will be stained with blood. Oh, I see. But what does that have to do with it? Even after saying all this, you still don't understand? I suppose that can happen. You're subtly dismissive. Just get angry. Go ahead and be angry. If I get angry, you'll just complain that you... If I get angry, you'll just complain that you were scolded again, aren't you? Anyway, if that's the reason, why? Easy. Let's think about the time frame when the coward could have committed the crime. Coward? Are you talking about Mikawa? So how did it go again? It was clearly a very short time, between 45 and 47 minutes. Well, yeah, considering he even had to go back and forth to the library in between, he probably didn't have time to do anything else. But when you watch the video shot by the amateur cameraman, was there blood on the glove of the coward who arrived at the diner at 47 minutes? 49 minutes? There was none, definitely. That's right. Judging by the bloodstains on the book, a considerable amount must have splattered on the back of the hand. At the very least, it must have been impossible to hide naturally. Really? Was there no time? Are you trying to say that there's some kind of trick involved? Running at full speed. If you could just do something, somehow, it might work. Do you think that'll be enough to cover it? Even if they washed it with water, it would take more than 10 minutes to completely remove it to the point where it won't show, and to dry it off as well. Now that I think about it, yeah. Yo, blood. Blood? Blood? That startled me. That startled me. Tomoe screamed up, suddenly seeing blood, and jumped up, while Tadara, who was sitting right next to him, covered her ears. Is a nosebleed really that big of a deal, Tomoe? Oh my god! Wait a second, hold on. Don't worry about it. I get nosebleeds pretty easily. Of all times, it covered with the hand that had the glove on. Wait, okay. So they must see his nose bleeding right now. Okay. No, wait a second though, but he used the one with the glove because he already had blood on it. Is that what they're trying to say? Wait! Come on, wait! It's going to take some time to wipe this clean for sure. Okay, wait, okay, so they didn't see blood on the glove before, but they're trying to say he could have hidden it somehow. Hold on, let me just see what they're trying to say right now. Wait. Besides, it takes forever to dry. I don't have any other gloves. Ugh, I haven't taken this glove off all day. This was a few days ago. Hold on. Wasn't there something like that a few days ago? Remember when Mikawa accidentally wiped the nosebleed with his gloved hand and grumbled about it? Oh, thinking back, it seems that might have been the case. You remember that? As a leader, it's only natural that you should remember every little detail about what happens to your own team members. Yeah, I definitely remember that. They even mentioned about not taking their gloves. They even mentioned about not taking taking off their gloves all day. This proves that it's impossible to deny the possibility that the gloves weren't worn when the murder was committed. Spontaneous murder. Okay, I understand. I see. It's strange that someone who wears gloves all day long would be wearing them when they committed spontaneous murder. Okay, because it was spontaneous, why would he have his gloves off? If that's the case, didn't he intentionally set the bait for that? I already told you this case was an accidental homicide. Do you really think you can lay a bait for a murder you committed on impulse? I'm still not over the accidental homicide though. So the point is, Mikawa cannot be this culprit, correct? Indeed, another suspect has been eliminated. So now the remaining suspects are Miss Ego, Miss Kana, Miss Misaki, Mr. Sarashina, Mr. Shitanda, Miss Jimonji, Miss Tsubaki, Miss Tomoe, Mr. Miyuki. So there are 9 left. Am I really innocent? Really? Phew, what a relief. Not to be suspected by you guys anymore. No, wait. I've unexpectedly ended up on the suspect list and caused you all to worry. I guess I should ask for forgiveness, right? Miko was crazy. I love him. By that point, you're seriously messed up. So, Miss Ego, how does that fact that Mr. Mikawa is not the culprit help with uncovering the truth? So it has to happen after he brought the ladder back. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, it has to happen after he took the ladder, I mean. It had to happen after he took the ladder. I'll tell you about that from now on. Here's a question. If someone on the suspect list is determined not to be the culprit, what advantages does that provide them when conducting an investigation? The number of possibilities get reduced. Reduced? My heart feels 10% more at ease. The suspect list becomes easy to remember. Any other answers? We are supposed to trust the suspect's testimony. Is that the answer? My heart is racing so much right now, like I'm anxious. Good, that's correct. As expected, there's still a trustworthy aspect left. That does make me feel at ease, doesn't it? Yeah, something easy to remember. Something easy to remember on the list is also correct. Aren't you gonna give me bonus points? I was just trying to lighten the mood. Anyway, it's been proven that Mikawa was not the culprit. In other words, the testimony given by Mikawa became a basis for deduction, and the statement that the ladder was placed and removed between 45 and 49 turned out to be true. Since he's not the culprit, he probably didn't rush anywhere. He probably walked to the library honestly and walked back to the dining hall honestly. So it's likely that they arrived at the library and moved the ladder at 47 minutes, just as we suspected. Can I see who's left? I want to look at the alibis again and see whose alibi fits in that range. Okay, let's move on. But isn't that something we've already discussed? I don't see any dramatic shift in direction of the investigation, though. I told you, even these small details are important to prove. From now on, the path we'll take will heavily rely on Mikawa's actions, and if it's uncertain, the price will be too high. I understand. However, how does it happen? Clue? We just need to remember what the original topic was. Oh, the conclusion that Kizuki died in the absence of a ladder was the last one. After that, we discussed that who had taken the ladder outside the library. That's right. Then the issue regarding the fingerprints left on the ladder came up. We felt the need to address the possibility that Mikawa was the culprit who moved the ladder. But since we're deciding Mikawa isn't the culprit, I guess we can rule out that possibility. This is so hard. Honestly, I feel like I'm about to die just trying to keep up. Right. When Iwata died, it wasn't like this back then. Well, back then, there wasn't all this convoluted stuff. You just had the clues and you interpreted them. But, is it okay for us to be like this? What do you mean by that? I may have misunderstood something, but following this logic, wouldn't that establish a new standard for the culprit? What? Really? How does that work? Oh, I'm so anxious. I'm so nervous. Consider this. It's now been proven that the only person who left the scene carrying the ladder was Mikawa, and Miss Kizuki was murdered in the meantime while there was no ladder. In that case, then it means that Miss Kizuki was murdered during the time frame that Mr. Mikawa took the ladder outside. Specifically, that's between 4:18 p.m. and 4:47 p.m. And wasn't there a condition that came before that? Condition? Like, right? Because Shino brought the book back at that time. After 4:30 p.m. The moment Shinano brought the weapon to the scene, the culprit was able to commit the crime. Well then, that narrows things down. That narrows things down a lot. The culprit is whoever killed the White Rabbit between 4:30 p.m. and 4:47 p.m. In between those times, anyone without an alibi. There are many, are there? Show alibi list quickly. Here it is, but I'm not going to give it to you. It's hard to understand what you're saying. Then pass it on to the leader. Yeah, give it to me. Here. Okay, let's see. Kana is available, right? She doesn't have an alibi. Kuzu doesn't have an alibi. Well, no, she finished at 45 minutes. No, she does have an alibi. Sarashina. He has an alibi. Shitanda. He has an alibi. Okay, hold on, I forgot. I didn't read the first one. She didn't show up at the library until Mikawa brought the ladder to the scene. Therefore, she's not the culprit. Sarashina has an alibi. From the 15th to the 50th minute, and Shinano has a recorded video from the 30 minute, so it's possible for them to have committed the crime. Let's see who else. Justin, Daira. Jumonji doesn't have an alibi. Tsubaki and I, yep. Tomoe. Tomoe has an alibi. Mikawa's an alibi. Miyuki doesn't have an alibi. Huh? Jumonji, Miyuki, and who else doesn't have an alibi? Someone above that. Kanna, I think? Tsubaki and I were together for 15 minutes to 47 minutes, so we can't be the culprit. And Tomoe was with Shitanda for 30 minutes and 53 minutes, so they have an alibi. The 6 people that can be excluded from the suspect list. Then the only people left are Erika Jumonji, Tatsuki Kanna, and Miyuki Nozomi. Erika is still on the suspect list. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Only these 3 remain. Did we accidentally kill? What's the name? This would be crazy if it was accident. Well, no, we was asleep the whole time. Class trial suspended. Okay. We are going to save here. This is a perfect place to save. I'm so upset. I'm so sorry, y'all, that the first half of the investigation, like a whole hour's worth of investigation, was lost because of my bad connection. But I'm so glad that we was able to get to this point. I don't know. I don't think it's us because we was asleep the whole time. Unless what's the word? The 3 of us didn't do it. I'm just gonna say it like that. The 3 of us ain't do it. I don't know. But right now I'm thinking it's Kanna right now. But I don't know. That just doesn't seem right. It don't seem right. But anyway, we'll come back next week to play again. Tomorrow I'll be on Arium to stream an accent challenge. So if y'all want to go and see me on Arium, y'all can feel free to download the app and join me there at 7 p.m. But otherwise, I'll be back on YouTube next week to play the same games, basically. Amori. our life and more Danganronpa MAUVE. I can't wait to see how the rest of this trial finishes off. I'm so curious and I'm so anxious. My heart is beating so much. But let me just make sure I saved. Okay. I'm gonna exit game. So yeah, thank y'all very kindly. Much obliged, and I'll see y'all maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Y'all come back now. You heard me. Have a good night.